It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Good evening, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. My name is Heath, and tonight is Modeling Monday. If you missed last night's Sidetrack Sunday, we did do the final awards ceremony. I don't know what you call it, but we gave away the awards for the health challenge. You can still check it out on my website, health.humancity.org, if you want to take a look. Ron Moen topped the list. We also had Damian Lawfer and Robert from Flying Crow. There's a great group of people that did it. I'm probably going to do another one come February just to keep it going. But in the meantime, let's take a look and see who's checking in. We've got Adam Cruz, we got Andy Estep, we've got Bernard C, we've got Brad Anderson, Model Railroad Down Under, Brian Rock Rail fans in the house, we've got the Rebel himself, Cascade Southern Model Trains, Drew Doos Model Trains is here, Eddie Pappert. Eddie, I apologize if I butchered that, but Lynn McCurdy in the HD MMRC, we got Manshed Railroad, Norman Rose joining us as well, we got Art PDR Engineer, we've got Ron Moen, we got Roy Elpham, and we got Stephen Wigwag Workshop on my list. I see that there's 27 people here, so I know I probably missed a couple. Looks like Tim from CP368 Productions is here, PK and W. Model Works is also joining us. If I missed you, I apologize, but thanks. Oh, Marty from M&M Shortlines. Thanks everyone for being here. I hope you guys all had a great start to the week. I am going to be doing a little bit of work on my module that's back here. But first thing I thought I'd show you guys, I got a little package in the mail. This is going to be a quick unboxing though. This isn't going to be any long one. DF Robot is a company website or whatever, buys stuff right out of China. I think I ordered these, I don't remember if it was right before or right after my last stream, but these are more of those ESP32 cams. I got a couple of them. The goal is to put them out and about around the layout and see you know, see what we can see. Take different views of things. So Mr. Lynn McCurdy is saying that I need to show the new escape route. The whole, what he is talking about is this lovely thing right here. And I don't have heat right now. I think I've mentioned this. I think I've ranted about it before. He's going to ignore me since Tom said hi to me twice. That is correct, Cameron. You already got enough hellos for everybody. But yeah, so this whole, the theory is that the radiator doesn't work and it's because the valve's bad. So instead of letting the plumbers just come in and make an absolute mess, I started off by making my own little mouse hole and you know, try and keep the dust down. The super thinks they're probably going to have to cut some more out. I don't know, like, I wish I felt more confident that it was actually a valve issue, but that's the valve for Norman. Norman says, what is that? That is the valve for a radiator. I believe it's I don't know if it's a steam radiator or if it's a hot water radiator. I don't really know the difference, but it's there's a boiler in the basement, produces heat, steam, hot water, something. It flows through all the radiators. This one is in the wall. So to get to it, you have to basically tear into the wall. So they're going to replace that valve. It looks like he thinks they're going to have to break apart the base molding stuff too. And what's so frustrating about this is literally, I just used that word, figuratively, they should, I don't know what the word is. Hot water would have a return line. There is a return line on the other side. Actually they call it a steam trap. So maybe it is steam, but there is a return line on it. There's two lines. One that comes in at the top, it flows down through the radiator, and then at the low point it drains out. So actually, I don't know where. Yeah, so I put the cutting mat down. I was trying to save the carpet from getting too messed up. It did actually help a lot. I actually had to go to the store though. Couldn't find my masonry bits, so I went and I got some masonry bits and I got a cold chisel. I don't know if you can tell or not, but they're plaster lath walls, but behind the plaster lath is concrete in the mesh or whatever. So they basically put the mesh up and then they put concrete on it and then they put plaster on top of it. So it's really frustrating. I can't begin to tell you how frustrating it is. I'm still debating what to do. So the hole is literally like right here. It's like a foot away right here. And I don't know if I should take the desk and like move the desk back here and like put it up against stuff here and then cover it. I got drop cloths. If you were here last night, you saw them. So yeah. Cold chisel. I don't know why it's called I guess it's called a cold chisel because it's commonly used in welding to knock the slag and stuff off, but I don't really, I'm not sure. Yeah, radiator heating is, it's very common in New York. Like buildings like this, when they were built, didn't have air conditioning, but they all had radiated heating. If I want an intact desk, make sure you offer to let them use the ladder. I'm gonna, after this, I'm gonna try and do a Tom's Trains and Things short stream tonight because I do need to take that ladder out. Yeah, the theory is if I move this back here, I'll just like cover, I'll cover the, from like up there, where from way up there, just under the passenger car extension set, I'll drop the plastic down and just like cover everything and just, I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's such a small room that there's really just not space to to move stuff out of the way. And a lot of this stuff are, they're cameras, and cameras are very susceptible to getting dust inside of them. And once you get dust inside of them, it's a whole thing to clean them. But I do thank everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the channel support. Being able to get this room was a big deal. I've been able to do so much more because of the room, and it's because of the members on YouTube, as well as the supporters on Patreon, as well as my sponsors that have really made all of that possible. Huh. Yeah, and Z says, and we thought you were frustrated before you moved in. Cascade looks like he's joining the Lionel Club with a Polar Express. I was actually just on Nick's Trains live stream, and he was running a Hudson, pulling his Polar Express car, so that was kind of fun. That's a nice set. Andy says, my building has steam radiators, but I live 40 blocks from there. You're probably the closest one, though. Rick from Mr. Foltz Bailey checking in, saying hello. It is my man cave, and I guess that's what makes it a little more frustrating. Decent volume, but we hear you say ha. I say ha a lot. I always say it. Now that you've called me out on it, I'll probably keep saying it over and over and over again. We've got Z Fantasy Train snuck in. Conrail 8098 is here. Foltz Bailey I mentioned already. Mike from Wicked Insanity's here. Split Rock 323 is here. Norman made a comment before the show started. He said that he liked, I don't remember the exact quote, and I'm not going to go back and find it right now, but something to the effect of, I like the stream because he's on time. I'm punctual. Punctual, I think, is the word. Oh, funny. I mentioned the thank you vid, your mic. Yeah, I don't mute my mic during the see, now I'm saying all the time. I don't mute my mic during that, so yeah. Oh, good, he fixed the 68. Now I have NL and O scale. What is L? What is L scale? What's the L next to? KO. Keith, why do I not have any L scale? What is L scale? I don't know what L scale is. Yeah, Rick Bailey has been a member for 8 months. It is pretty crazy how long I've been doing this. Oh, probably Steam. Oh, Lego. Lego, there we go. Sherry says loser. So, blurry camera. I don't know what you're talking about. Check your resolution. Click on the little cog and make sure that you're watching in 1080p 60. Lego. I forgot about Lego. I don't have any Lego trains, but I've thought there's a crocodile train that's $99 plus it's like another 40 or something to get the lighting kit, and I thought about getting that crocodile train. I like Legos. I think Legos are a lot of fun. So was there anything else I needed to show people? I don't think so. So let's get this out. I'm actually, oh, I did have a Lego train that I got. It was a Christmas ornament. I had a Lego train. So, I want to drive the train, Stephen Rowe says. I was with Conrail from day one till the end. Yeah, I had a little Christmas hanging train thing. I gave it to the next door neighbor. The next door neighbor I think he's got a Polar Express set actually. So I gave it to him. Lego trains are expensive. I actually did an interview with, I think his name, Brian Fraser. Was that his name? I apologize for blanking your name. But I did an interview with him, and he models in Lego. And the conversation was about how Lego isn't really recognized as modeling, or as scratch building, as modeling, whatever. So it's kind of this. Anyway, there's an interview. If you go back, check out, I have a playlist of all my interviews. It's one of the interviews. I know his first name was Brian. I can't remember his last name. Yeah, Cascade. That is so true. All trains are expensive. So I'm actually a little nervous about what I want to do tonight. I've got the module here. I got the airbrush out, and I did a nice sort of, once over coat of this. Let me move this over. The once over coat with the airbrush, and I did a little bit of spraying with a lighter gray. But what I need to really do is figure out where I'm going to put everything. And I got some paint brushes, and I've got some little paint cups. And my thought is that I'm going to take a little bit of time tonight and kind of lay out where I want the water to flow. And my theory is that water's going to come down here, come down this path here. There'll be a little waterfall type thing here. And then water will also come out of the culvert, and then it'll kind of go around here and down here. And then I think there's going to be a certain amount of water here. And with like this will be like a little island sticking out maybe out the top. So I think that's what I want to do. So I think the plan is I'm going to get some blue paint and just kind of paint in a little bit where I think the water is going to go, and then kind of take a look at it and see what's going to happen. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I don't have all this planned out. I'm kind of making this up as I go along. So there's a lot of kind of unknowns to everything. And I'm sort of just figuring it out. But yeah, Legos are really awesome. I met a guy that built, another guy that, episode 24, I show his circus stuff, and then at the very end I show some of his Lego stuff. He has Disney's Main Street, like the entire Disney's Main Street made in Lego. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, no, the island won't be in the stream. The island will be in the pool, or the water as it flows down is going to fill up this area here. But this is kind of sticking out, so I think this will be that. So I'm probably not going to pour water. I'm probably going to try and use the tissue paper trick. So is this camera in focus or out of focus? I think it's in focus. I think I'm going to use the toilet paper trick. So, yeah. Container Man, you've said this. I think somebody else said this too. They said just pour real water in it and see how it flows. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. You hope to one day be as organized as me. It's by necessity. I'm not necessarily an organized person. I don't know. This camera, like, for the amount of money of this camera, you would think that it would do a really good job focusing. but it doesn't. It's the bane of my existence, this camera. There we go. It was better when so I think it's okay now. I think you're at the point of letting the water go where the water wants. I don't trust the water. I don't trust it. Yeah, I know. I need to upgrade the lens. This is it's a very expensive lens. It's more the fact that I'm trying. Anyway, okay. Let me grab. So I did make more room up here. So I do think I definitely now have more stuff here. You want me to change the angle a little bit? We could do more of this angle. I did this angle the other day. People seem to like it. Although, see, what's happening is it's the depth of field is very shallow on it for some reason, and it's likely just that I need more light. But when I put more light on, all right, there we go. I'm only on 4G, but it looks blurry to me. You're talking about your face cam? No, not my face cam. The jib, this camera right here, the one that's over my shoulder. So I now have more room here. So I think the shed over on this side, the house with then the little outhouse on this corner is probably going to be the way to do it. And yeah, I think I'm gonna paint it a dark blue for now, not a bright blue, but like a dark blue, just to kind of get a sense of where I'm gonna put the water to kind of look at it. It's not necessarily gonna be the base of the water. It's more gonna just be, now you guys can see my, you can see in the corner where I hit the little, the chat window. So let's find a, we'll grab this blue. This is a, let's see, this is flat blue, Vallejo, model colors. The module cam looks great, but your face is blurry. Is my face really blurry for people? I'd be kind of surprised if it is, because it looks amazing here. Or are you just giving me drill? Where's the water coming from? So there's two places the water's coming from. The one place the water's going to come from is somewhere down this way. And then the other place the water's going to come from is basically coming off the mountain and then going down through into the culvert and then down and around. Yeah, it's just my face. It's always blurry. That's probably true. That is probably true. Yeah, I like this because I can get the camera in a great spot. I just gotta figure out the focus stuff a little better. And I think it focuses a little better when it's further away, because then I don't have the depth of field issues. But it's still not 100%. Okay, so I am going to why is Roy texting me now? What are you texting me about, Roy? It is out of focus on your phone. But I don't know why it's out of focus on your phone. I don't think it's out of focus on other people's phones. That's what I did. Paint as blue. Yeah. So if you look at my poll tonight that 48 people have already answered. I basically asked, should I add the ground cover to the module before or after I add the water? 58% said ground cover first, 29% said water first, 4% said same time, and 8% said run trains. And it's kind of what I'm kind of just using this to really just kind of see, see that I get everything in the right spot. I'm looking for, here we go. I've got these little 3mm beads, and I'm going to, oh, Jesus. Really, Rick? I am having a, well, Rick, it's gonna be one of those, one of those days. Anyway, what am I gonna do? So I'm gonna attempt to, if I can, get this cover off of this without making too much of a mess. And I'm gonna put a couple of these little beads in here, and that will hopefully then allow me to shake this up a little bit easier, and get the paint mixed up really good. Yes, Norman, I know. I know you do the toilet paper first. What I'm trying to do though is, Rick, I know. Rick's sending me text messages in the background. It's been a rough week for me. Yes. So the toilet paper will go down first, but what I want to do is figure out where things go. Tonight's about figuring out where I'm putting the water, not so much about actually putting the water. So I'm going to put some blue paint down just to identify where the water is going to go. And then I'll put, the ground cover down, and then I'll come back and do the toilet paper and the water. So, I should use my little, I've got one of these, paint shaker things, but I don't know. I don't feel like it works great, but I don't really know. Let's see, this is going to be loud, so let me mute this real quick. Caboose, I don't know what you mean by this comment. I would think everything would go on the corner of the module. What do you mean by that? Oh. Yes, Z, I do have a paint shaker because I'm terrible at shaking paint. And so here's a question for people. Do you mix your paint with water, or do you mix your paint with alcohol when you do it? Angel Hair works best for rushing water effect topped with clear Elmer's glue. Interesting. I was going to probably use I was probably going to use hot glue is what I was probably going to use. Or at least that's my thought. So we'll choose this one. I see toilet paper every morning. I hope you do, Lynn. I hope you do. I really need to make this. Oh. Acrylic is water Windex mix for me. You put Windex in your acrylic, really? I was gonna do, I usually do alcohol sometimes, but I guess I guess it all works. So I want to grab, I'm going to put a little bit of this paint in here. This is a black primer. I just want to make that a little darker. Yeah, there are, for the waterfall stuff, there definitely are a lot of options. And yeah. So here we go. Andy says, depends on the paint. For Tamiya, 99% IPA. For Vallejo, I use their thinner. For craft paints, which I rarely use, I use windshield washer fluid. Interesting. No, you can't. Like this size bottle doesn't work on it. It's too big. It's really for the small little ones, and it's called, what's it called? Robart, R-O-B-A-R-T. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Do not do what I did. I got the battery operated one. Don't get the battery operated one. Get the one that plugs in. But this is it, the number 411 Hobby Paint Shaker Electric, $55. I was cheap and I bought the $45 one thinking I was gonna, save myself $10, and now I'm kicking myself because yeah. So I do actually have the Vallejo airbrush thinner. I don't have paint thinner, but yeah, for this, I'm not too worried about it for this. Again, this is just to kind of get a sense of where I want the river to go. So I'm not too worried about it. And I actually do like, personally I use IPA mostly, but I really don't know what I'm doing, so that's, yeah, so I don't know if you saw, Bernard. I've got these 3mm beads. When I was going to buy these, I was going to buy stainless steel ball bearings. And I think it might have been Tina from Mojave said, even if they're stainless steel, they could rust in the paint. You don't want to do that. Get beads made of natural stone. So these are actually natural stone beads is what these are. So they're like 3mm bearings, but they're beads instead, so that they don't rust. There's no chance of them rusting at all. So yeah, the paint shaker works pretty well. If I was prepared a little better, the thing to do would be, let it run for about 2 minutes or so. And a lot of times what I'll do too is I'll rotate the paint shaker like so it's sitting flat, and then I'll stand it like up on end just so that it's shaking in a couple different sort of angles. So I know you can't see this really well, but this is kind of the idea of the water running through this area here. And it's interesting. So there's grout, there's Wigwag saying stop too far. I didn't tell anybody to tell me to stop yet. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying now. I looked up and saw that, and I thought it was too funny, so I got distracted. But yeah, just laying in a little bit of where I think the water's gonna go. And I'm doing it like this so that I can just take a look at it and possibly change it before I do the ground cover. So now I guess what I'm wondering, if I should make a little, let's do it and take a look, right? Um, oh, I was talking about the paint shaker in different angles. Yeah, if you use it in different angles, I feel like it does paint it a little, or does paint it, does shake things up a little better. So here's the idea. So there'll be a little pool of water here, just a little one. And I think we'll have water coming this way around here. And this is why on my my railroad it's a dry riverbed. I thought it was dry riverbed because you were in the desert. So this is going to come. So I'm going to have some water pouring just over the edge and kind of collecting down here in a little collecting pool here. And then we'll have this water here backing up and going over the waterfall right here. So get a battery. Yeah, I do need to get the battery adapter. But the point just being is that I spent all the money on the batteries already. I should have just bought the darn wall wart. Bernard says, oh, these BBs are copper. Will copper rust, I wonder? I don't know. So I am very, very green with airbrushing. But in my experience with those Vallejo colors, the flow improver works a lot better for me than the thinner does. But I also think that's because the compressor that I have only gets up to like 15 psi. And I think that might not be enough psi to really clear the tip. So the flow improver works better than the flow improver works better with the Vallejo with the lower PSI because it helps keep the tip from clogging. So we're going to have some of this water go on this side of this rock. And we'll then catch it up over at the culvert in a second as well. Can probably leave this a little wetter and just see where it kind of flows, although it is kind of risky a little bit here. So I'm sort of following the natural contours of the rock a little bit. Copper doesn't rust, it oxidizes. The patina can change paint color. That's from Fultz Bailey. Yeah, I liked the idea of the beads. I haven't heard anybody tell me any negatives to using the beads yet. So that's why I went with the 3mm beads. And I think it was like $6 for 100 or something like that. So, yeah. Tanner Man, I'm glad to hear you got that sorted out. So the water coming out of the culvert, what I'm thinking of doing for this culvert is drilling, getting a Dremel and dremeling some of this out and making a little hole and putting like a little pipe in it so that I can get it to go back a little further so you're not just seeing the back of the culvert. And then I think that'll drop this area down a little bit. I think this area got built up just a little bit too high. I use a DeWalt compressor. I spray at 25 psi sometimes. How, I guess you need just a bunch of adapters then? How do you adapt from the DeWalt compressor? Or is it just, that's just kind of, I mean, I guess they make all the different fittings, right? I got one of my recent airbrush purchases is I got the quick connect for it, which I love because I don't have running water in here. So when I want to clean it, I just pop it off and take it and go clean it. So Steve 87th PSAB is saying I should use stainless steel, not So you're saying don't use the natural stone beads. Use stainless steel. Steven says nope, just one coupler out of the water trap. Oh yeah, I guess right. But the DeWalt compressor came with, I'm guessing, the wrong size, and you converted it. I'm guessing. Maybe. So this is going to be the outlet for the water. Right there. So now we're going to kind of connect all of this. And this is kind of a high spot here, but I'm going to make it into a low spot. Yeah, I don't know if I could pour water or pour, I don't know if I could pour, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I could pour epoxy in here. I don't think it would ever, like, it's not a real level. It's not a level enough surface that I don't think I could do it. Adam Cruz, yeah, adapter fittings and pressure regulator down to the airbrush hose. How loud is the DeWalt though? That's definitely one of my concerns. I want something that's quieter. But I do think I'm gonna need to upgrade from that little one that I have, just because it's okay for some things, but I think I'm gonna not outlive it, but I think I'm gonna need something else sooner than later. So this little bit may be a mistake. This little connection point, it kind of goes up and over, but let's, I do want there to be an area where I could put the boats in. You can not pour resin without seeing it first. Straight PVA over the foam, sand, grout, etc. Norman Rowe, you could not pour resin without seeing it first. I'm not sure what you're saying. I have a bag of Easy Water that was given to me over 10 years ago. Would you want it? Would it still work if it was 10 years old? I'm kind of not sure that Easy Water will last 10 years. But I do think I'm probably just going to do the toilet paper stuff. What I don't know about the toilet paper, though, is like, how would I do this little river? How would I do these little, like, small areas with toilet paper? But I'm kind of liking the shape of this, I think. I'm going to actually bring this up a little bit. So what I'm looking at is the height. I'm looking at the height of this, and I want to bring the water up on this edge to the same height as that, so that they're kind of matching. Oh, seal it with PVA. Yeah. Yeah, I do have a bunch of Mod Podge. I was watching, I watch a lot of like non-model railroader modelers. And hey, James. Hey, David Z and G. Z to G. He's just not following the poll results, Steve. What's the... Are you guys saying because I'm doing the water first? So this is not, for people that are just getting here, this is not my water. What this is just an indication of where the water is going to go. And then I'll do ground cover around it. And then I'll do whatever I'm actually going to do for the water, which I don't quite know yet. I'm trying to remember that this is N scale. And that sort of, this is kind of a huge amount of water in N scale. I should go get one of those boats. And I should see how much water, how wide one of those boats are. Because it would kind of be nice to be able to get one of those boats like all the way down the river. So yeah, this is not happy little mistakes in the stream. Yep. So here's the size of the N scale boat that I have, which is starting to make me think I need to make this, I'm going to need to make this water much bigger, especially like up here, right? Like if I'm thinking that there's going to be a boat up in that area, I think I'm going to need to widen out all of this. I think I'm going to need to widen out the water. And that's kind of why I'm doing this now, right? Is I didn't want to do all of the ground cover too close to the water. I wanted to do the water first and then do the ground cover. So I'm going to start back here at the beginning again. And I'm going to make this, yeah, it is, right? Like if I put this guy here, he's not in the water. So I'm going to make this water much wider. I'm going to make this, there be more water is what this is telling me, is that I need more water. Which kind of means too, when we get to some of these areas, it means the water needs to actually kind of come up the edges a little bit too. Culvert hole. Put the boat next to your culvert. That is an N scale culvert, but I do get what you're saying. The boat could fit through that culvert. It's a big one. Di is saying Split Rocks is working, so I'm here to say hi, Blame Heath. Thanks, Di. Appreciate it. Although, if Thomas is working, he's he was in the chat earlier, so hopefully he's not in motion. So I'm just kind of working the contours of the water, just sort of getting around. Yeah, I don't know that I'm ever gonna make this big enough that the boat's gonna be able to fit through this. Yeah, I don't know that I made this deep enough either, Container Man. And again, that's why I'm doing this now, because now's the time to change it. I guess that's that's partly what's fun about this hobby, right? Is we can make it up as we go. It's really interesting how much this paint is soaking into. David Z2G says the boat can't navigate that part of the water. Build a canal so it can be pulled by horses around the narrow parts. I grew up not too far from the Delaware Canal, so I don't know. I can't remember if I ever actually saw. It wasn't horses at the time. I think it would have been donkeys that I may have seen pulling the boats along the canal. Yeah, I didn't want to make this too big at first. I was afraid that if I made the water too wide, that it kind of wouldn't look right. So I'm glad I started off smaller, but I definitely do think that widening this out has definitely been helpful. Just build a jet boat, they'll go up everything. Is the boat a canoe? No, it's not a canoe, it's a rowboat. It is a rowing style boat. So I still think I'm going to do small small little water for the waterfall. And we'll let it pool up here. The nice thing will be with the toilet paper, I will be able to build up some of the areas to make things a little bit more even. Rebel Cascade Southern Model Train says, remember, a canoe is also a rowboat. I you know, technically that would be true. Technically, a canoe does get paddled, rowed. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm debating whether, like, does the water like cover this whole little island here, or does the water go around the island? What are people saying with chainsaws? Lynn Chainsaw. Oh, I was thinking of Sawzall. This is the reason I was looking at that is I do consider this my chainsaw layout. You know, this is definitely a learning experience. Container Man wanted to see the boat by the culvert. So yeah, I mean the boat almost fits in the culvert. Just turn it into a tar pit. The water covers everything. So you don't think I should have these sort of rocks sticking? You don't think I should have the rocks sticking out from the water? You think I should just sort of fill them all in? There you go. Yep. Rowboats have rows. Canoes have paddles, according to David Z to G. And I would agree. I think that's a logical difference between them. I don't know. I'm starting to get to that point where it's like, it's my railroad. You know, I'll figure it out. It'll look okay. I really am kind of wondering how I'm going to do this with toilet paper. I wonder if I could just do it with, you know, PVA glue to some extent. Norman says I'm being too arty-farty. Ah, Norman, that's too funny. I don't know. I guess I'm enjoying this sort of aspect of it. This sort of, you know, playing with where the base might actually be. I am kind of liking the idea of just like pouring this, you know, just seeing where it goes. I just have a feeling it would cover too many things that I don't want it to cover. So, James says use silicone. I think when you pour the water, it's going to cover more than you expect. Well, and that's why, Rick, that's why I'm talking about doing toilet paper technique that John from Schuylkill River Valley did recently on the Sidetrack Sunday. I first saw it, though, from Martin over at Merklin of Sweden. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking if I take the toilet paper and make it into thin strips, that do we need to start calling you Bob? No, definitely not. You know who is Bob, though? I don't did you guys see when John from Schuylkill River Valley shared his paintings? John is a good painter. John has done some really amazing stuff, and I believe he says he learned it from Bob Vila. So yeah. So I don't know. So you're not gonna be able to do toilet paper technique and end scale. Roy, is that a challenge? Are you challenging me? Because the second somebody says you are not going to be able to do something, that's exactly when I decide that I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. I do kind of wonder though. You know, I'm looking at this. You know, if it was oh wait, Bob Vila. Oh, sorry, Bob Ross. Bob Ross. I am kind of wondering if, you know, if there is a way I can modify the technique a little bit. I did, if you go back to video 00 of mine, it's my Christmas layout from 2019. I did the water that is in that 00 video is toilet paper water. So I do have a little bit of experience doing it, but it's not, I mean, that river is so much wider than this. It's nowhere near nowhere near the size of this river at all. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's big enough to be a river. You know, I could bring the whole level up. I'm kind of thinking I need to bring the level up. I think I may have what did Di say? I missed it. A siren is a great idea. Why would we get a siren going? He learned to paint from a yes. Yes, Cascade, the gloves are off. Yeah, it's Bob Ross, and I'm gonna do the Bob Vila knows how to roll some wall paint, though. That is true, Joey. 110% on that one. Just launch the boat downstream, save the islands. Dig deeper. Think you need more water. I'm thinking I need more water as well. I think I'm going to leave this little stream here. I think it's coming out of the culvert okay. Where I think I need to bring the level up to, though, is I think I need to basically cover this and bring it up all through here. I think that is what is going to need to happen. Is I think this needs to come all the way up here, which would mean that this is getting covered all but maybe just that little bump at the top there. I may need more paint. This is going to come up to here. This will come over here. All this will get covered. This will get covered. I guess the one downside of doing the toilet paper is you won't see any of these details underneath. They'll all kind of just disappear. So the one nice thing about, you know, pouring water is that you can see all the underwater details. So where do I want to do this over here? I do kind of think, I think we're just gonna cover all this, even though it's, I think it's actually lower. I mean, it's higher than this. I think we are gonna. What are you saying? That may be what he needs to do. Z and add Nisi. Me too, Z. Oh, I thought that whole area was gonna be water like a lake. Well, and that's where I'm going. I'm easing into the idea. I don't wanna rush anything. I think this is what's happening though. I do think that this whole area here is gonna be lake now. So all the way up into here. was being a little over conservative, maybe. But I'm definitely thinking that we're going in the right direction here. I think I'm going to run out of paint in a second. So see, if I do this, and I do go this high with this, I could pour the water. Although, I guess what I don't know, though, is how to know exactly where the line is going to be if I do pour this. You know, like, how do I know how to figure out what the height of the edge actually is? Your stream flows into an imaginary lake off the edge of the module. Yeah. Z says he can paint over it. Yes, I can. Norman says stop with this color. This color has nothing to do with what the actual color is going to be. This is just for me to sort of figure out where the river is going to be, where the water is gonna come out. It's not. Don't think of this as the bottom color of my water. This is just. I'm just using this to get, some semblance, some idea of where the base of the lake's gonna be. I'm gonna mix up just a tiny bit more, just a teensy tiny bit. Tint the acrylic, pour, and let it seek its own level. Yeah, I thought about that. I want it to. I do want it to look a certain way. I have a certain vision of what I think. The problem is if I just do the acrylic, and I just put way too much of this. I just put way too much of this in, by the way. Yeah, and I've thought about that. People are saying just, fill it up with water. And, just fill the whole thing with water and just see where the level ends up being. And I still might do that. I could still just throw this into the I could still just throw this in the paint booth, repaint over this, and go back again. One of the things I thought of doing was taking water, tinting water. Heath, paint higher up with the water paint, then pour, then paint over the water paint that is not under the resin. The thing is, though, right, if we look at this poll, we go back to the poll, people say I should do the ground cover before I do the water. Seems to be the general consensus. So if I pour the water first before I do the ground cover, then I can't go back. Then I can't go back and paint away the watercolor on the bottom. And that's kind of, I guess, why I was doing this, is because I was trying to figure out what the level of the water would be. So one thought that I had was to get like water, just take water with paint like this and just fill this area up with it, and then just let the water evaporate. And when the water would evaporate, then I would have a sort of a ring around this with water. So Roy Heldham says, I think the poll is wrong. Yeah. But I definitely think this is definitely much better with it like this. And I don't mean this color, I mean just being this wide. I think it's definitely better being this wide right now. And I think I'm definitely high in some areas. I guess I could pour the water first, pour the epoxy first, do the then do the ground cover, then add like the water ripple type stuff. And then the water ripple type stuff would help sort of cover up would help cover up where the epoxy may have gotten messed up. So I think this is the idea, though. I think that the idea of this height is more the idea of Z says you better watch another DIY video. Yeah, what I did was when I filled this in and made all these little nooks and crannies, I think I made life more difficult on me than I needed to be. But I do think I might pour epoxy down here. Yeah, and that's why, David, I don't want to... I need to make sure I'm not getting the ground cover under where the water would go. And that's... I mean, I'm thinking back on, like, a Luke Towan video or something, and I need to watch one of his older videos again because I don't remember, but I thought he did a lot of the ground cover before he did the water. James has just asked Heath, he's an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm 100% making this up as I go along. I will be the first to tell you that I have no idea what I'm doing. I just wanted to get a sense of what would happen. A sense of where I thought the water was going to flow to. I wanted to get a sense of what it would look like. Adam, does Everard have some good... I haven't watched an Everard Junction video in a long time. Roy says, yeah, the people answering the poll were thinking of a different set of steps than Heath is doing. Yeah. Joey says, if you add weeds or reeds or whatever first, then the water will flow into around them, and when it cures, they'll look submerged. Yeah, and that's I guess a little bit what I'm thinking of is I need to have some sense of where the edge is so that I can add things like, weeds and stuff. I thought the bottom of the creek is supposed to be brown and the water is clear. Yes. Jason, go back and watch the beginning. I am just using this paint to kind of get a sense of what the water might potentially look like. This is not going to be the color of the water. I'm going to repaint all of this. I was initially thinking that I was going to do the toilet paper technique. So all of this stuff was going to get covered up. People keep saying get down low and see. These edges are pretty close to lined up across. I do like that. It's hard to paint in the valley, but it's... This pool, I do think that now that I said to Container Man, he did listen to me and we got it working. Oh, Roy, yes. Steven, it's it's my railroad. I think, if people want to do it differently, I think people can do it differently. I'm just trying what I'm trying. People don't have to like it. I honestly don't care if people like it. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a sense of what it would look like adding some water to the module. So this was my way of visually being able to see it. This isn't the final... this isn't the final thing. This is just me just sort of, trying stuff out. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, and I hope people had some good conversation in the chat, and I'm going to keep working on this, not tonight, because I do have to cover up the room for what is to come. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen Wednesday, because I'm not sure if I'm going to have the room back together again. So yeah, Norman says, if you do things on a live stream, be prepared for a lot of cooks. Yep, exactly. It's all good. I'm no expert. I'm just, I needed to do this to see what it was going to look like. And the good thing is it's just paint. It can all change. So this is just right. There you go, David. This is just my water template. I just wanted to get an idea. Yeah, if you look at the water, go back to my 00 video, check out the water. There's a lot of black. There's a lot of green in it. So yeah, it's all good. But have a good week, everybody. I hope I'll see you guys Wednesday. But I'll post something either way, and we'll see how things.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.